All right, my amazing students, we are getting ready to review chapters 1 through 3 in our Aleks work. So, the first question is number 1, give the digits in the 10,000s place and the tens place. Okay, so we know that coming from, let me get a pen here. So, coming from the right, we're moving to the left. This is the ones. Tens, which was one of the ones that we're supposed to give, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. So the 10,000s place is right here, and that is a 9. And the tens place is right here, and it is a 7. So we're reviewing our place value. Order these numbers from least to greatest. Okay, so least is pretty obvious because it has the smallest number of digits. So this one already is the least one. So I'm just, instead of rewriting all of these, because you know how hard this is for me to write with this little pen here, I'm going to say this is number 1, the least. And let's go ahead and find the greatest. Well, it's very obvious which one has the most places here. So this one is going to be number 4. It is the greatest. And then we're going to look between these two and just say which one is going to be number 2 and which one's going to be number 3. This is 16,000 and something. This is 69,000 and something. So this one is going to be number 2. This one is going to be number 3. So in writing them in order, this one would be the first one, and then the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one. Okay, so here we are on number 3. We're going to subtract 0 minus 9. Does not work, so we're going to come over here and borrow. Make that a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 3 minus 4 does not work, so we'll come over here and make that a 13. 13 take away 4 is 9. And then we bring down the 3. So 391 is the answer. Number 4. We have 288 plus 18. So 8 plus 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 8 plus 2 more is 10. Put down the 0. Carry the 1. And 2 plus 1 is 3. Number 5. Write the next 3 multiples of 8. So this is 8 times 2. This one will be 8 times 3, which would be 24. 8 times 4 would be this one. It would be 32. 8 times 5 would be this one. It would be 40. So we are starting with 8 times 2, 3, 4, 5. Question number 6. Divide 1,862 divided by 19. So 1, 8, 6, 2 divided by 19. Okay, so 19 won't go into 18, so we'll go into 186. Now, remember, 190 would be 10 times, so let's put a 9 here. 9 times 9 is 81. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 8 is 17. So now 6 minus 1 is 5. 8 minus 7 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. We bring down the 2. 19 into 152. Let's say 7. That might be wrong, but 7 times 9 is 63. And 6 would go up here. So 7 times 1 is 7 plus 6 is 13. Now look what we have. So if we subtracted this, we're going to get a 19. So I was 1 shy. So we're just going to bump this up to an 8. That was not supposed to happen. See if I can get this back where it's supposed to be. Okay, so we're going to make this an 8 instead, and we're going to subtract this right here. Okay, 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 7 is 15. And we come up with no remainders, so 98. And that makes a lot of sense because 100 times 19 would be 1900. And that's very close, but there's 2 19s missing. So, all right, I'm going to see if I can't get this screen back the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so we're going to see if maybe this one will work now. Move on to the next one. Question 7. Answer the question below and then fill in the blanks if necessary. Can the distributive property be used to rewrite 9 times 4 divided by 2? Okay, so when you're looking at this, this is not distributive because distributive always has a plus or a minus here. So we would say, no. That is not the way we use the distributive property. If this is a plus or a minus, then yes, we can use the distributive property, not over division. Okay, so here we have fill in the blanks and then close the property, then choose the property of multiplication you used. So 1 times 3 is equal to 3. And that is the multiplication property of identity property here. Any number times 1 gives you itself. Okay, blank times 2 times 5 equals 4 times 2 times 5. Well, the answer here is 4. And this is the associative property because notice that here we have the same order, 4, 2, 5, 4, 2, 5. The order has not changed, but the grouping has changed. So that is our associative property. Okay, 0 times 5 equals 0. And that is our 0 property. Any number times 0 is 0. And lastly, 3 times 9 is 9 times 3. And that is our commutative property. Question 9. Round 364 to the nearest 100. Here is the hundreds place. So when we're done rounding, we'll have zeros here and here. Since the 6 is greater, we always look to the number right behind the one we're rounding to. So we're going to look to this one right here. The 6 is greater than the 5. 5 or above, we would round up. So it's going to be 400 using our rounding rules. Round 2,301 to the nearest 1,000. Well, here's our thousands place. So we look at the digit right after the one we're going to round it to, and it's a 3, which is less than a 5. Therefore, we will round it down. And 2,000 is the correct answer. Evaluate the following. So now we're into order of operations. This is a times and a division, a plus and a plus. There are no higher level. Remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And there's no parentheses, brackets, or braces. That's for the please. There's no exponents or roots. That's for the excuse. So my dear is multiplication and division, and they are at the same level, and we perform them left to right. So 2 times 7 is 14, plus 16 divided by 4 is 4. plus 4. So now 14 plus 4 is 18, plus 4 is 22. Evaluate 5 plus 2 times 3. Now, addition usually comes after multiplication. However, this addition is inside of a parenthesis, so we have to do it first. Parentheses come before the other thing. So 7 times 3 is 21. Question 13. Boris can type 40 words in 8 minutes. What is his rate in words per minute? Okay, so if he's doing 40 words in 8 minutes, and we want words per minute, don't we want words in 1 minute? So basically, we're going to divide this by 8 on the bottom and divide it by 8 on the top. 8 divided by 8 gives us the 1 we want on the bottom. 40 divided by 8 is 5 words per minute. Number 14, the Rogers family just bought 3 crates of eggs, and each crate had 18 eggs. The family already had 7 eggs in their refrigerator. How many eggs do they have now? Okay, so they have 3 times 18, 3 crates of 18 eggs each. Plus, they already had 7 eggs in their refrigerator. So they started with 7, and then they added, now 3 times 18, 3 times 8 is 24, carry your 2. That's 54, plus the 7, and that's going to give us 61. So they have 61 eggs. I hope they have a lot of people in their family. Question 15. Write the following number in standard decimal form, 11 and 800ths. Okay, so 11, we're going to use standard decimal form. Remember, 11 and, that's where we put the decimal, 11 and 800ths. This one is going to be the 10ths place, 100ths place. So we're going to put the 8 here and fill in with a 0. So 11.08 is the number we're seeking. Use less than, greater than, or equal to compare the following decimals. So first of all, do we see anything equal? 8.3, 8.30. Those are equal. Those signs are, little boxes are so small. I'm just going to put it over here. Okay, now we have a 0.29 and a 0.21. So 29 hundredths and 21 hundredths. The 29 hundredths is bigger. And lastly, 0.07 and 0.6. This has got 6 tenths. This one has 0 tenths. So 0.6 is larger. We're going to use the less than sign. And we're done with that one. Number 17. LaShonda bought an item for $16. Before that, she had $401.76. How much money does LaShonda have now? Okay, so she started with $401.76, and she subtracted 16. That's $16. I'm going to go ahead and make it also in dollars and cents with the decimal place. So now 7, we're subtracting, right? So 7, 6, decimal. And 1 minus 6 doesn't work, so we got to go way over here. Make this 10 and 11. Minus 6 is 5. 9 minus 1 is 8. 3 minus 0. Okay, so $385.76. Number 18, add. Well, this was very nice of them because they already lined up your decimal for you. So if you want to, you can put in a 0. Okay, 6 plus 0 is 6. 4 plus 6 is 10. And 7. We need to bring down our decimal. And we are multiplying by 0.001, which we're multiplying by a smaller number. So we're going to get a smaller number, aren't we? Okay, so let's go ahead and take, I'm going to put 0.001 and then 67.3. I could have put it the other way if I wanted to. But basically, it's going to be 1 times 3, 1 times 7, 1 times 6, and how many decimal places? 1, 2, 3, 4 places behind the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4 places behind the decimal. Now, let's see if we can look at this and see if it makes more sense. This is the tenths, hundredths, thousandths. 0.001 is the same number as 1,000ths. Okay? Now, so multiplying by 0.001 is the same thing as dividing by 1,000. So this decimal would go 3 places to the left. And isn't that exactly what it did in this answer? Question 20. Suppose a candy bar weighs 5.66 ounces. How much does a pack of 6 bars weigh? So we're going to take 5.66 and multiply it by 6. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 6 is 36 again, plus 3 is 39. And 5 times 6 is 30, plus 3 is 33. 2 decimal places, 1, 2. Now, does this make sense? 5 times 6 is 30, so we know the number should be larger than 30 because we've got more over here. So it does make sense. Divide. So we're going to divide 6, 5.7. We're going to divide it by 0.3. But remember, our divisor should not contain a decimal. So we will clear that decimal and do the same thing to the dividend. Okay? So now we have 3 going into 657. 3 into 6 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 0. 5. 3 into 5 goes 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring down to 7. 3 into 27 is 9. And that is our answer because we had cleared out all of our decimals. 22. Divide 2.97 by 9. 9 goes into 29 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. Bring down the 2 and the 7. 9 into 27 is 3. And we just put the decimal point right above it. So 0.33 is the answer. Number 23. Use a calculator to write 25/24 as a decimal rounded to the nearest hundredth. So let's just go ahead and divide it. I don't have a calculator with me right now. 24 to 25 is 1. 1 times 24 is 24. Bring down your 1. Now see here, our decimal is right here, isn't it? So we're just going to add a 0. And since we have no decimal over here, our decimal is going to go right above the decimal there. Okay, so now we're just going to bring down the 0. 24 into 10 does not go, so we'll just put a 0 right there. And we'll bring down another 0. 24 into 100 is going to go 4 times. 4 times 24, oops, that wasn't what I was supposed to. 4 times 24 is 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 8, 96. With a 4 left over. And a 0. Okay, so we'll bring down the 0. And 24 goes into 40 one time. Now here is my hundredths place, right there. Tenths, hundredths. Since the next number is a 1, it's going to just drop off. We're not going to go to the next one. So 1.04. And we really didn't need a calculator for that at all. That was a pretty easy problem. Let's compare 2/3 and 3/5. First, write the fractions with the same denominator. So won't I go to 15ths? Let's see if I can write that small in there. We're going to go to 15ths because 3 and 5, the least common denominator between 3 and 5 is 15. So here we're multiplying by 5. We multiply this by 5 and we get 10. We multiply this one by 3. We multiply this one by 3 and we get a 9. Okay, so 10/15ths, 9/15ths. Which one is greater? It's going to go this way, isn't it? Okay, let's find 1/2 minus 3/7. Okay, first of all, we have to get a common denominator. 2 and 7, the least common denominator is 14. 14. 2 times 7, 1 times 7 gives us 7/14. 3 times 2 gives us 14. 3, I didn't say that right. 7 times 2 equals 14. 3 times 2 equals 6. I got too much going on around here, but that's okay. 7 take away 6 is 1/14. We had our children came in to celebrate Mr. Aldridge's birthday. And lastly, no, not lastly, we're on number 26. We're going to need to get a common denominator again. So the common denominator is 35 and 35. So 7 goes into 35 5 times. So 3 times 5 is 15. 5 goes into 35 7 times. So 2 times 7 is 14. We're subtracting. So we get 1 out of 35. And number 27. Divide. Write your answer in simplest form. 4 times, remember division of a fraction is multiplication by its reciprocal. 4 times 9/1 is the same as 4 times 9, which is 36. Okay, so the top one is 36. 1/9 divided by 4 is 1/9 times 1/4, which is 1/36. So, maybe that would be a good way to show that division is not commutative. We cannot change the way we do it. We don't get the same answer. Now we're multiplying 3/7 times 3/8, and we don't have anything that's going to cancel, so we're just going to multiply across. 3 times 3 is 9. 7 times 8 is 56. There is nothing that canceled, so there's nothing that we can do to simplify that. 29. Divide. Write your answer as a fraction or a mixed number in simplest form. Okay, so we're going to 3 and 2/7. 3 times 7 is 21, 28, 22, 23, 23 sevenths. Divided by 8 is the same as times 1/8 times 1/8. So we end up with 23/56. And that is simplest form. And the last question. Okay, now we have a common denominator, and these are mixed numbers. We do not have to turn them into improper fractions. It's easier to see this if we put them one on top and one on bottom. Okay, we're subtracting. So now 7/10 take away 9/10 doesn't work, so we're going to change this to a 5. And we're going to add 1, which is 10/10 over here. And 7 plus 10 is 17 tenths. 17 tenths take away 9 tenths is 8 tenths. And 5 take away 1 is 4. Now, we do need to simplify this because 8 tenths is the same as 4 fifths. So our final answer is 4 and 4/5. And that is the last problem on this set. So remember, you're supposed to copy all of these down and submit them for a quiz grade. This is Mrs. A, and may God bless your day.